There's nothing left to do. Welcome back, writing community. Thanks for joining me again on this show. And what are we talking about today? We are talking about writing through quarantine. Where's my position on this? If you watch my channel trailer, I got laid off from work. I'm okay. But there's a lot of people that aren't okay, so, prayers to them. The thing is that it's opened doors for how I want to and a lot of other people want to express themselves creatively. And I've always wanted to write and be a writer. And I'm like watching some other videos on YouTube and I'm like, man, to be a writer, all you gotta do is have the desire to write and then scribble like a thing down, one thing, and you're a writer. I mean, with this time that we have, who knows the shelf life of it? Hopefully, as far as the health crisis part of it goes, pretty quick. It may be a while before anything happens to get us back to normal. And even if everything was solved tomorrow, then there'd still be a little bit of fallout on how industries and things like that come back together. It won't be overnight like, oh, everything's back to normal. So why not just pursue your passion? I want to be a writer. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to just toy with it and, do some things for a hobby, get some stress out. I'm all for that. This should include everybody. But let's look at how I write, okay? What am I working on? My WIP, work in progress. Currently working on a novel and another set of basically a collection of poetry that I've been doing. Check out my Instagram in the description if you want to take a look at any of that. So that's what I'm working on. I'm just trying to get it all composed in a nice, friendly way for people to read it and access it. But the material's there, and things like this help me kind of keep on track and stay accountable, so thank you. So that's where I'm going. So we could take a look at how I'm doing some writing right now. Give you a little bit of some motivation, inspiration, or, well, I'm doing a hell of a lot better than that guy, so I'm doing pretty good. All good things. Let's take a look at a piece of poetry, right? One second. All right, this is my handy dandy notebook journal where I like to write some things down. I imagine myself one day having like a crazy villain from Seven kind of setup where it's just like a million of these just like lined up, all my thoughts just poured into them. Right now I got this and a handful of unorganized hullabaloo everywhere. Here though, I can access things. So what I would do is try to get organized for one. Now, you have the desire, whether it's for hobby or not, and you need to implement it, right? So, find out your inspirations. If you don't already know, who are you reading right now? Who don't you like to read? Who do you like to read? And then find that middle ground. I'm gonna give you a piece. I'm gonna tell you how I'm doing it, and you guys decide if that's something you think is, what you'd like to do. If that's not the same kind of thing that you're looking for, fine. I'm gonna pick a poem out of here that I'm not going to be using in my actual collection book that I'm putting together here, and one that I'm not using. Okay, so I like this one. I made a video, kind of a little artistic poem video. If you guys like those, let me know. I plan to do those every once in a while, so if you don't, it's okay. It's not gonna be every week kind of thing. But this is a poem I put together called Aspirations Cancelled, okay? It goes, who are you to shut down dreams, to cancel the aspirations of the dreamers? Who are you to say, I'll starve, that you'll never make it? You'd have one believe that dreams should be doubted, that a realist should be sprouted, and that the dreams of the dreamers are just naive. Pretty deep, huh? When I look at you, I see a speed bump and a failure that's afraid. oh, I wish you'd dream a little more, that you'd give dreams another try, and you'd realize that it's not too late. What kind of, if you could take anything out of it, take this, because I've been trying to write things since I was, in school, and I could never put together like enough to, make a novel at one time, You have to have like arcs, and the story from page 100 to 500. To me, I'm like, whoa, I could always make like a chapter, but it was just hard to like keep going or see where that would end. And so I turned to poetry because I still want to get all that clutter out. Sometimes I feel I have a good idea and I put it on a page, and boom, it's something. And I feel that it is a finished work, and out of anything that a writer can go through, when your heart starts, churning all the creative blood in you, and then you're kind of like stuck on that high, but you don't know what else to write. That's like the worst. Some people call that writer's block. I'm just thinking like it's us just getting stuck, and all we need to do is just put a little friction under that tire and it can take off. You can hone your craft. Everybody should be doing that, right? But you can hone your craft in that particular arena, or you can try and look at things another way. So that's what I'm doing with this poetry, right? And it's crazy because as soon as I got like, how much of this is done? That is all poems right there, front and back. That's a lot to put together, in the course of just a couple months. Here's the thing is you can look at things another way, especially during this time. We have more than enough opportunity to try and explore other avenues of approach for what we want to accomplish. And, as soon as I started getting this, I was like, man, I do have another novel idea in my head. And I got more than a chapter done. And it was crazy. It was like the keys in my brain just unlocked so much potential. And it was always there. I just didn't know how to express it. And so if that's, anything you can take away from me, average Joe here that just likes to write a lot. That's a jet in the air. If you want to write something down, whether it be haikus or poetry, little 3 to 5 paragraph things like I do, a full novel, use this time to work on other things, because it's gonna just relax your mind on your one idea and you will come straight back to it. If you're just getting started on something, you don't know how to start, try playing around with a couple of different things, because we're all like right there. You know it, I know it. It just takes that tiny bit of effort and then we're good. So, here's my 3 takeaways. And I know you're like, Nick, 3 steps, really? I shaved for this. So bear with me. 1, get organized. You need to figure out what's gonna work for you, and the tangibility of writing, your workspace. How do you do pencil, a pen, a typewriter, word processor, whatever you do, figure out what feels better. You're gonna know. If you don't know, it's because you haven't found it just yet. Find something, make a collection. It's pretty cool to have a collection too. Like, even if this is all crap at the end of the day, it's like, man, I wrote my whole thoughts, I put effort and time, and I got a completed thing done. Put it on the shelf, work on something, and I'm sure that thing will be better. And then you can always go back to this and be like, man, I had a couple things in there that were good, some things that didn't work out. Now I can use them for better use. Or, who knows, maybe you can put them to a collection like me and just run with it. Step 2, put it on a page. Your head needs to funnel all its crap onto a page. And then your hand can polish that up into a nice creative work. Step 3, have fun. Play around a little bit. If it doesn't work one way, try another way. Or step away from that and try something else. Circle back. We have the time to do it. It's why it's called How to Write in Quarantine, because this is the time it's meant for, man. I mean, when has there ever been like another time? You could think of the Great Depression, but like people were having trouble, affording books and pencils at the time. Right now it's like we can't go outside. We shouldn't be buying and eating and consuming and doing things the way that we used to do. But we still have so many resources available to us. You're just a kid in a candy shop and there's no adults around. You can't eat all the candy, but you're gonna make use of it somehow. Or you're not. I hope that you do. I hope you like this video. Please click subscribe if you liked it, and maybe tap that bell icon. I don't really know what that does. It gives you some alerts. I've hit some and it doesn't give me any alerts. But can't hurt, can it? Feel free to check out my other sources of social media. I'm gonna be posting Mondays. I'm dedicated to you folks, the few that there are at the time that I'm posting this, soon to be many. And I hope, I know we're gonna all get through this one way or the other. And best wishes, you're all in my prayers, and keep writing.